But first this evening, have you ever noticed something happening in Maine and wondered, why didn't I know about that before? This story may fall into that category.
It's about a band in Maine that has some loyal followers, but may not be widely known, even though it plays both here and in other states. 207's Don Kerrigan introduces us to Yellow Brick Road, an Elton John tribute band that was put together in the living room of a man in Bath.
They're definitely not a neighborhood pickup band. These players are all pros. But as much as they love music,
walking in the country, fishing in a stream. It is still fun. That's one of the primary rules of the band. We're going to keep doing it as long as it's fun. Until I saw those city lights, honey, I was blind.
they also have day jobs. Take Gerald Brand. During the week, he's an electrical engineer at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. But when he leaves the yard, Gerald Brand becomes someone else. Together, Gerald, Mark, Kevin, Mike, and Rich become Yellow Brick Road, a tribute to Elton John, performing about 35 shows a year over a big piece of America.
To be able to put together my own tribute act, I just wanted to see if I could do it.
They had all played in a variety of bands for years, sometimes with one or two of the others, doing hard rock and roll in bars and clubs. But Gerald says he wanted something different, with the piano up front.
And for a keyboard player, there's only a couple of options. You know, I could do Billy Joel, I could do Elton John, but Elton John was a no-brainer for me. I've loved the music forever. I kind of, have the same vocal range, playing style, and I had to do it.
But as they played and talked in his living room, most of the others said they were initially reluctant to join, like guitar player Mike Tobias.
I wasn't interested, only because I had just gotten done with another band, which had Gerald and Mark in it, and I was kind of burned out.
Same for bass player Mark Cavanaugh.
And Gerald was putting this together, and he actually called me up, asked me if I was interested in it, and I wasn't. I wasn't interested because I had life going on.
And drummer Kevin Ostrowski was reluctant until he went to an early practice session and said yes.
I don't think I ever missed a practice, and I never missed a gig, and that's been 21 years.
Guitarist Rich Daigle, who joined us by Zoom, grew up playing music with Gerald and came back to Maine and joined the band 5 years ago.
So I'm the new guy, and they won't let me forget it.
And surprisingly, these veteran musicians all say the Elton John music was tough to learn.
For guitarists, the chords are from a piano, so it's so great and different.
I had to bring my A game because there was quite a lot going on for a bass player.
And they say, unlike playing in bars, there's an audience listening.
It's never been boring for me. I think it's because the energy from the audience.
I gotta get up at a higher elevation, I think.
For Gerald, being Elton John is total performance.
Are you guys ready? But the way that this band goes, we're trying to give them the experience of seeing a live Elton John concert. So we're not a tribute to the album, we're a tribute to the artist performing live. But when you present it in that live format and the band is jamming, there's energy, and you're jumping off the piano, and the audience is freaking out, and they're all screaming, they're on their feet and everything, it's an experience, and it's pretty incredible.
And it wouldn't be Elton John without the costumes. He buys some pieces, makes others, all based on real shows.
This is a throwback to his very first performance in the United States. He played at the Troubadour in California.
All essential parts of the show.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
But at the heart of this is the music. Gerald does the arrangements and says he tries to be as true to Elton John's performance as possible.
I think he's better than Elton John. Elton John doesn't jump off the piano anymore.
He's the best performer I've ever played with. Vocally, it's a whole package deal.
They all praise Gerald's talent, planning, and drive to make the music and the show as good as it can be, and having the energy to keep doing it every time.
When you're up there on stage, you've got a big house, the audience is into it. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. It's incredible. It's what you've always wanted ever since you were a little kid. You know, playing on your guitar, or your keyboard, or drums, or whatever. You're imagining yourself being on a big stage with an audience that's freaking out. And I feel so privileged to be able to have that experience.
They are Maine guys: an engineer, a studio operator, a small business owner, a meteorologist, and a college professor. Now all in their 50s or just beyond. All playing music for decades and still going strong, just for the love of it.
I think everybody now having that experience playing in bars and maybe in other projects recognizes the good thing we have and ride the wave.
For Elton John himself, the touring days will end next year. But in these hands and instruments and voices, the music and the show will live on.
I never stopped to think about how if you're doing a tribute to Elton John and you want to have the authentic outfits, that is going to take some time and money to get everything that is part of the whole act.
Yeah, absolutely. And as somebody who has seen Sir Elton play, they do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
They sound pretty good.
Yellow Brick Road does shows in Maine as well as in other states. In July, they're scheduled to play at the Snow Pond Center for the Arts in Sydney at the outdoor stage with a youth symphony orchestra.
Gerald Brand says they will use the same orchestra arrangements that Elton John has used in the past. We do have a link to their website with performance dates on our website and our app.